Hi, Principals Leadership 1. This is week 12 with Mrs. Brown. Our topic this week is doing the right thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of quotes. The first one is by Bill Moyers. He's a TV journalist and author. He says, "Our very lives depend on the ethics of strangers, and most of us are always strangers to other people." The next one is by Barbara Jordan, who is the first African American woman from a southern state in Texas in the U.S. House of Representatives. She says, "All of my growth and development led me to believe that if you really do the right thing, you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do with your life." So let's go ahead and talk about this topic of doing the right thing. We all experience moments when we have to make difficult choices. As a leader or when you're in a leadership role, making a decision often calls for balancing your personal ethics with the needs of the group. Ethics is deciding what is right or most right in any situation, especially when there's no clear answer. Making ethical decisions as a leader is easier when you act consistently with who you want to be in your life. If you are uncomfortable after making a decision, it's probably because you've acted unethically. Decisions grounded in ethics keep you from using excuses for your behavior. Sometimes making a decision that involves ethics means making a choice that isn't fully satisfactory but is better than any other choice. Such situations or dilemmas happen often. When facing an ethical dilemma, the decision you make can depend on the effect your leadership position and how others see you as a leader. When making a decision, you probably don't ask yourself, is what I'm about to do ethical? But you may have a feeling about whether you've made a good decision. Let's practice and learn more about how to do this. First is morals. Remember, morals are a person's standards of right and wrong, usually based on how you were raised. However, values are anything that's of worth to you, such as a belief, a standard of behavior, or material possessions. And we're talking about ethics. So the next thing is compass questions. I would like you to ask yourself the following compass questions when you have to make leadership or personal ethical decision. Number one, if a friend of mine did what I am about to do, how would I feel? Number two, will I break the law? Number three, will the decision result in a win-win situation for everyone? Number four, will I have to lie in making this decision? Number five, if the newspaper writes an article on what I'm about to do, how will I feel? Number six, if my mom, dad, or other important adults in my life were watching me while making this decision, how would I feel? Number seven, do I have to keep my decision a secret from anyone? Number eight, what do I feel in my gut are the possible outcomes of this decision? And number nine, what does my conscience say? Here's your assignment for this week. I would like you to read the following dilemmas. Using the ethical compass questions that we just went over, I would like you to decide what you would do. Sometimes your choices may feel less than ideal, but I would like you to write your responses to the PowerPoint here. You're going to save it, and then you're going to email it to me. And remember, this is due by Thursday. Also, please know that all of these dilemma situations are coming from the Everyday Leadership book, so they're not dilemmas that I created on my own. So just think of yourself in this position, and even though this might not be a realistic position, if you had to be in this position, share what your thoughts and feedback are on it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. This one's called Good Grades. During your first semester of high school, you become friends with Caden, whose academic skills impress you. You ask to study together for an upcoming biology test, your worst subject. When you meet at the library, Caden hands you a copy of the upcoming test, which he admits he took from the teacher but hasn't shared with anyone else. The biology test is the first exam of the year, and your parents expect you to get a good grade. If you don't take the copy and tell the teacher what Caden has done, you may lose a new friend. It also will mean a new test for everyone, one that could be harder than the first. So I would like you to answer these two choices. What choices do you have in this situation, and what would you do in this situation? The next one is after the game. Your mom is gone for the weekend and you're staying with your best friend. Your friend's mom, Mrs. Reese, is like a second mom to you, and your mom trusts her. Mrs. Reese plans to pick you up at your friend's after a basketball game at the community center Friday night. When Mrs. Reese arrives, it's obvious she's been drinking. You don't feel comfortable getting into the car. Your friend also notices that drunken behavior but tells you not to say anything when you quietly protest accepting the ride. A few other kids are waiting for rides, but you don't recognize anyone to ask for help. Even if you did see someone, you can't stay with your friend after refusing a ride from Mrs. Reese. And you're also not supposed to stay home alone all weekend. If you don't get in the car, you may lose your friendship. Mrs. Reese is urging you to get into the car, and your friend starts getting in. So I would like you to say what choices do you have in this situation, and what would you or could you possibly do? Oops, I went to the wrong one. Sorry, this one. Same thing. All right, the next one is partying. You're having a blast with friends at a party, and your dad has no idea where you are at. The parents of the friend hosting the party are out of town. A few friends ask you to follow them into the garage to show you something. Once you get there, it's obvious several groups of kids are smoking pot. You're confused because your friends know you aren't interested in using drugs and don't respect others who do. As you turn to leave, Sam, an older kid you really admire, asks you to join the group. Assuming Sam is going to tell everyone to leave you alone, you're surprised when Sam takes a turn at smoking. Even though you don't have permission to be at the party, you know your dad will pick you up if you call him. But you also know if you call him, not only will you be in trouble, so will everyone at the party. So, what would you do? What are your choices? And what could you possibly do in this situation? Lastly is final thoughts. Practicing ethical leadership can be challenging when you have to confront peer pressure and make decisions that contradict a group. This is called ethical independence. In contrast, thinking and acting as a group is referring to as a group think, as we've talked about before. Although groupthink can be powerful and successful to produce positive results in some cases, it can also cause negative effects. Keep groupthink and ethical independence in mind when applying your ethical compass. All of the dilemmas I presented to you once again came from the Everyday Leadership textbook. If you have any questions or you need any help this week, as always, please let me know. Thanks and have a great week.